How does an ordinary woman fall from a regular employee to a murderer? Is her collapse a twist of fate or a trap set by society? Kenshi Yonezawa's Scream centers on Yoko Suzuki, unveiling the harsh truths of Japan's underbelly. This mystery novel is more than suspense, it's a mirror reflecting women's struggles and the darkness of human nature. Let's step into Tokyo's Haze to explore why her fate is so tragic. Tokyo's Haze, Kenshi Yonezawa and Japanese Society. Kenshi Yonezawa, a Japanese social mystery writer, was born in 1978, growing up in the aftermath of Japan's economic bubble burst. His works often delve into social issues, exposing class divides, gender discrimination, and human complexity. Scream, published in 2014, won the Eiji Yoshikawa Literary Newcomer Award, stunning readers with its sharp social critique and nuanced psychological portrayals. The story is set in early 21st century Japan, during a period of economic stagnation and social transition. After the 1990s bubble economy collapsed, Japan entered the lost 20 years, with rising unemployment and widening wealth gaps. Women faced dual pressures in the workplace and at home, with deep-rooted gender discrimination. In 2013, Japanese government data showed only 11% of managerial roles were held by women, far below Western nations. Single women like Yoko Suzuki were often marginalized, bearing both economic and psychological burdens. Influenced by social mystery writers like Keigo Higashino, Yonezawa blends suspense with social critique. His inspiration comes from observing the underclass, as he once noted in an interview, "I often see women living alone in Tokyo, their eyes full of exhaustion." This observation shapes Yoko's story, an ordinary woman driven to collapse by societal pressures. Tokyo is not just a setting but a symbol of the psychological and social atmosphere. The city boasts glittering ginza alongside grim low-rent apartments, reflecting divides in class and gender. Yoko's fate mirrors Tokyo's haze, beautiful yet oppressive, bound by invisible chains. Japan's transition period brought new conflicts, traditional expectations clashed with modern values. Women were expected to be dutiful wives and mothers while also forced into the workforce by economic pressures. As a single woman, Yoko faced workplace sexism and society's moral judgments. Her story is not just a personal tragedy but a reflection of Japan's social transformation. Yonezawa's writing is delicate yet stark, showing through Yoko's eyes how society crushes the vulnerable. His work prompts a question: in an unjust society, how can ordinary people find their place? Yoko's story is a profound response to this question. Japan's lonely economy also emerges in the novel. In the 2010s, Japan saw a rise in solo living, with single-person apartments and dining trends, but this masked a deeper disconnection. Yoko's loneliness is not just personal but a symptom of a broader societal malaise. Her story reveals that modern conveniences cannot hide the desolation of the human heart. Yoko's collapse, character and plot analysis. Scream revolves around Yoko Suzuki, an ordinary insurance saleswoman. Her journey from normalcy to despair weaves multiple threads, exposing society's invisible oppression of women. The novel opens in reverse. Yoko is arrested for murder, her past shrouded in mystery. Through her memories and multi-threaded narration, readers piece together her tragic life. As a young woman, Yoko was a typical office worker, dreaming of making it in Tokyo. She worked hard but faced gender discrimination that blocked her advancement. Economic pressures pushed her into insurance sales, where her life grew increasingly desperate. A brief romance ended in betrayal, breaking her heart. Ultimately, she became entangled in insurance fraud and murder, plummeting into an abyss. Her story intertwines with two subplots: a police officer, Kobayashi, investigating her past, and Misaki, a mysterious animal welfare activist, revealing more facets of society's underbelly. Psychologically, Yoko's collapse unfolds in 3 stages. Hope and compromise. Early in her career, Yoko was full of ambition, aligning with psychologist Maslow's hierarchy of needs for belonging and self-actualization. She dreamed of changing her fate through effort but faced workplace sexism. Japanese journalist Akiko Iwata documented similar struggles in the 1990s. Women were relegated to serving tea, with no hope of promotion. Yoko compromised, taking a low-paying insurance sales job, planting seeds of psychological distress. Her compromise wasn't weakness but a reluctant surrender to reality. Repression and isolation, living alone in Tokyo without family support, Yoko became increasingly isolated. Psychologist Carl Jung noted that isolation amplifies negative subconscious emotions. Yoko wrote in a letter, "I sell insurance every day, but no one truly hears me." Her isolation mirrors Japan's invisible women, like those in the 2010 NHK documentary Disconnected Society, depicting single women facing economic and emotional wastelands. Yoko's isolation eroded her sense of self-worth, making her a victim of societal oppression. Despair and extremes, economic strain and emotional setbacks drove Yoko to extremes. She turned to insurance fraud and then murder, explained by psychologist Alfred Adler's theory of inferiority and overcompensation. Her sense of inferiority fueled a desperate need for control. A real-world parallel is Japan's Kitakyushu confinement murders, where the perpetrator manipulated victims' despair. Yoko's extreme choices, though tragic, stemmed from accumulated societal pressures. Kobayashi's perspective adds a rational lens, as he grapples with understanding Yoko's motives, finding her actions defy simple labels of good or evil. Misaki's story offers a contrast. She seeks meaning through rescuing stray animals but can't fully escape societal pressures. Subplots enrich Yoko's character, showing diverse fates at society's margins. The plot climaxes with Yoko's confession, "I didn't kill for myself, I just wanted to survive." This is both her defense and an accusation against society. Yonezawa's multi-threaded narrative weaves Yoko's personal tragedy with broader social issues, making readers both sympathize with her and question her choices. Society's Cage, Themes and Imagery. Scream is not just a mystery but an allegory of women's struggles, class oppression, and human complexity. Here are 4 key themes and their imagery. Women's struggles and social conditioning. Yoko's story exposes the plight of women in Japanese society. Trapped by workplace sexism, economic hardship, and emotional isolation, she spirals toward destruction. Yonezawa uses the insurance policy as a symbol. Yoko sells false security while lacking it herself. A similar image appears in Haruki Murakami's Norwegian Wood, where the well symbolizes women's trapped psyche. Yoko's struggle reflects how Japanese women are conditioned to be submissive. Real-world parallels include manga artist Rumiko Takahashi, who faced doubts in the 1980s about women drawing shonen manga. Yoko, labeled a weak woman by society, rebels tragically. Her story echoes Japanese poet Yosano Akiko, who called for women's liberation, yet remained bound by her era. Class oppression and survival struggles. Set in post-bubble Japan, the novel shows the underclass abandoned in prosperity's shadow. Yoko's poverty marks her as a social outcast, akin to Gregor in Kafka's Metamorphosis. Yonezawa uses Tokyo as an image, a city of dreams and despair. Yoko's lonely life in a cheap apartment mirrors countless other struggles. In 2015, Japanese scholar Takanori Fujita noted in underclass society that single women are the most vulnerable in economic stagnation. Yoko's story reflects this reality. Her crimes are a silent scream against class oppression. A parallel is the 2008 Foxconn incidents in China, where workers, driven by economic and social neglect, turned to extreme acts. Human complexity. Scream reveals humanity's many shades. Yoko is both victim and perpetrator. Her crimes, born of despair, harm the innocent. Yonezawa uses multiple perspectives: Kobayashi's sympathy, client's indifference, a lover's betrayal to show humanity's spectrum. The stray cat image runs throughout. Yoko once saved a stray but later abandoned it, symbolizing her surrender to despair. A similar image appears in Sasaki Natsume's I Am a Cat, using a cat's view to satirize society. Yoko's complexity evokes both pity and debate, prompting reflection on human nature. Fate's cycle and impermanence. Yoko's tragedy feels fated, her struggles only deepening her plight. Yonezawa uses the letter as an image. Yoko's confessional letters sum up her life but can't change her fate. A similar device is in Osamu Dazai's No Longer Human, where a diary narrates despair and downfall. Yoko's fate recalls Oedipus in Greek mythology, unable to escape tragedy despite resistance. Through these themes and images, Yonezawa elevates Yoko's personal tragedy into a societal allegory. Her scream is not just a sound but a silent cry from marginalized women. Narrative artistry, the power of multi-threaded storytelling. Screamy's narrative structure is central to its artistic appeal. Yonezawa uses multi-threaded storytelling and flashbacks to seamlessly link Yoko's tragedy with social issues. Here are 4 aspects of its narrative craft. Flashback suspense. The novel opens with Yoko's arrest, instantly sparking curiosity. Why did she kill? Flashbacks gradually reveal her transformation from office worker to criminal. This technique echoes Keigo Higashino's The Devotion of Suspect X, using flashbacks to unravel motives. Flashbacks heighten suspense and let readers feel Yoko's accumulating despair. Multi-threaded ensemble. The novel weaves Yoko's story with those of Kobayashi and Misaki, depicting varied lives across social strata. Kobayashi's investigation offers rational insight, while Misaki's story contrasts Yoko's tragedy. This multi-perspective approach resembles Miyuki Miyabe's All She Was Worth, revealing social issues through diverse lenses. Psychological nuance. Yonezawa excels at depicting Yoko's psychological shifts through details. Clients' cold stares during sales pitches and her lonely instant noodle dinners in her apartment evoke her inner collapse. Her confessional letter states, "I thought hard work would change my fate, but I was wrong." Its delicate portrayal recalls Osamu Dazai's The Setting Sun, using inner monologues to reveal fragility. Pacing and climax. The narrative pace shifts from slow memories to tense revelations, culminating in Yoko's courtroom confession. Her confession unveils the truth and forces readers to reassess her motives. Yonezawa's pacing toggles between calm and shock, amplifying emotional impact. Through these techniques, Scream blends mystery with sharp social critique. Yoko's story is both suspenseful and a scalpel dissecting social realities. From text to soul, reader resonance and reflection. Screamy's power lies not only in its literary merit but in its emotional impact on readers. Here are 3 layers of resonance. Emotional authenticity. Yoko's despair and struggle authentically mirror modern survival challenges. Her confessional letters reveal how societal pressures crush an ordinary person. Psychologist Erich Fromm, in The Art of Loving, notes that people in distress seek meaning through giving. Yoko's failure lies in being consumed by despair, but her scream is a cry for survival. In 2020, a Chinese reader on Douban shared feeling Yoko's isolation while drifting in Beijing, working late every night, yet no one notices my existence. This resonance makes Scream a mirror for urban dwellers' emotions. Women's shared experience. Yoko's story deeply touches female readers. In Japanese society, women are often expected to suppress emotions to meet societal norms. Yoko's silence and rebellion reflect countless women's endurance. A 2024 survey of Chinese working women found 70% felt pressure from emotional labor. Yoko's story prompts reflection. How can women preserve their identity under social conditioning? A parallel is Eileen Chang's Love in a Fallen City, where Bai Liusu navigates love and societal pressures, ultimately compromising for marriage. Though Yoko and Liusu's fates differ, both reveal women's societal struggles. Questioning self and society, Yoko's tragedy raises a question. How do individuals find meaning in an unjust society? Philosopher Nietzsche, in Thus Spoke Zarathustra, advocates self-overcoming, creating value amid hardship. Yoko's confessional letters, though unable to change her fate, achieve self-expression. This choice inspires readers. How do we define our lives in the face of oppression? Readers are moved by details like Yoko's helpless yet hopeful gaze at a stray cat in her dark apartment. These moments place readers on Tokyo streets, sharing her loneliness and faint hope. From Tokyo to the world, real-world significance. Though set in Japan, Scream addresses universal social issues. Its relevance lies in 4 points. Universal women's struggles. Yoko's story reflects women's challenges worldwide. A 2023 World Economic Forum report estimated 132 years to achieve global gender equality. Women face dual pressures in work and family, much like Yoko. Chinese author Qi Zijian's The Right Bank of the Argun River depicts women torn between tradition and modernity, echoing Yoko's fate. Warning on class divides. Yoko's poverty and crime stem from class disparities, a growing global issue. A 2024 UN report noted that 1% of the global population holds 50% of the wealth. Yoko's insurance fraud parallels real cases, like victims of the 2008 U.S. subprime crisis who turned to crime under economic strain. Human nature's reflection. Yoko's complexity prompts a question: why do people make extreme choices in despair? Psychologist Viktor Frankl, in Man's Search for Meaning, argues that people must find purpose in hardship. Yoko's Scream is a desperate bid for survival, urging us to consider how to face adversity. Call for social responsibility. Yoko's tragedy stems from society's indifference and injustice. In 2019, Japan's aging bankruptcy crisis highlighted single women's poverty due to inadequate support. Yoko's story calls for social responsibility. As Chinese scholar, he fan notes in variables, stressing safety nets for the vulnerable. Scream is not just Yoko's story but a portrait of all oppressed by society. It urges us to reflect: how do we preserve dignity and hope in an unjust world? Literary and cultural dialogue. Kenshi Yonezawa's impact. Scream's literary value lies in its social critique and dialogue with Japanese and global culture. Here are 4 cultural significances. Social mystery legacy. Yonezawa carries forward Japan's social mystery tradition, blending suspense with social critique. His work echoes Saiko Matsumoto's points and lines, revealing societal flaws through individual fates. Scream's multi-threaded narrative and psychological depth enrich this tradition, influencing writers like Keigo Higashino's The Newcomer. Breakthrough in female perspective. Yoko's female-led narrative challenges the male-dominated tradition of mystery novels. Her confessional letters recall Yukio Mishima's The Temple of the Golden Pavilion, using inner monologues to reveal complexity. Yoko's story offers a new lens for feminist literature, like Mitsuyo Kakuta's The Other Shore in 2020, focusing on women's societal struggles. Global resonance. Translated into multiple languages, Scream resonates in China, Korea, and beyond. 2022, Chinese readers on social media connected Yoko's struggles to urban women's pressures. The novel inspired adaptations, like a 2021 NHK drama, bringing Yoko's story to the screen. Bridge between literature and society. Scream sparks widespread discussion on social issues. In 2023, a Japanese TV program used the novel to explore single women's survival challenges, drawing large audiences. A parallel is Yu Hua's To Live in China, using individual fates to prompt social reflection. Yonezawa's work bridges literature and reality, urging readers to confront social injustices. Through Scream, Yonezawa brings Japan's social issues to a global stage. Yoko's story is not just Japan's, it's the world's. Conclusion. The Echo of a Scream. Scream is a piercing social mystery novel that exposes Japan's dark underbelly through Yoko Suzuki's tragedy. Kenshi Yonezawa's delicate pen sketches women's struggles and human complexity. Yoko's Scream, though unable to change her fate, awakens us to social injustices. The story asks, in an oppressive world, how do we find the courage to keep going? May we hear Yoko's cry, draw strength from her tragedy, and face our own challenges boldly while striving for a fairer society. Perhaps we all carry an unspoken scream, waiting to be heard and answered. Let Yoko's story be a mirror, reflecting our choices and inspiring us to write our own hope, igniting our own faint light.